Hey, I'm Brenda Song. I'm here with 17, doing 17 questions. Before we get started, don't forget to subscribe to 17's YouTube channel. What's one thing people would be surprised to learn about me? That I love football. I grew up loving basketball, sports. I don't play them, but I said I could probably commentate a game pretty well. But yeah, because I think I portray a lot of girly girls on TV, people are always really surprised that I love so many sports. I love boxing, I love football especially. So yeah, people are usually always surprised when they hear that. Be confident in who you are. Don't be so anxiety and don't worry so much. Like, everything will be okay. I promise. Everything will be okay. I'll never regret spending time with my family and choosing my family over work, over anything. It is something I think when I look back at my life, those moments and those like memories that I have, I never regret ever. I've had to either like do a job or like go to, a family birthday or anything like that. And I used to always worry that I always have to stay focused on work or school or something. With my family, my friends have been something that I've never regretted ever. I always read before I go to bed. It's a habit to just get on your phone. I was like, no, just get a book. I never go to sleep without washing my face, ever. How old was I? My very first role? My very first job ever was a commercial for Little Caesars Pizza, and I believe I was 4 or 5. Yeah. Starting young. Have I ever been starstruck? I think the only time I've ever been truly starstruck was when I met Kobe Bryant. Again, I'm a huge Lakers fan, and I was at the Pirates of the Caribbean premiere, and his wife, Vanessa Bryant, actually came up to me and said that their daughters really loved the show, and I think I froze. My mom said she had never seen me freeze up like that. They were so wonderful and so kind, but I froze up because my whole dressing room is all Lakered out. I have a life-size cardboard cutout of Kobe that is jersey, and I am the biggest Lakers fan, and I was literally in shock. And I look back and I was like, there are so many things I could have said and done, but yet I was so scared. I didn't even get a picture because I was too nervous. They got a picture with me, but I didn't get a picture because I was too nervous. That's not okay. One of the biggest things I do regret is that. Who is my dream co-star? This sounds really cheesy, but I will say that I've always wanted to work with Kat Dennings because I've been such a huge fan of hers from Two Broke Girls. And when I found out that she was on this show, it changed everything about Dollface. It made me want this project even more. I already loved the concept and everything, but when they said Kat Dennings was in it, I was like, oh my God, I've always wanted to work with her because her timing is so impeccable, and that's something you can't learn. She's someone I look up to so much as an actor, and then when I met her, I was like, oh my God, I love you so much. How have we never met before? I know that feels like a cop-out answer, but it's an actual truth. I am such a fan of her and her work. The hardest part about being an actor, I guess it's, there's so many aspects to it, because at the end of the day, I feel so lucky because I get to wake up every single day and do what I've dreamed of doing my entire life. I get to live out my dream, as cheesy as that sounds. But I think the hardest part is just all the hours spent away from your family and the time traveling. I think that's always hard. With a lot of jobs, people do that. But I think for me, that's the older I get, the toughest thing is just being away from family. And shooting during this pandemic, we shot this last season, this past summer. It was really crazy because it made filming a lot more difficult. I had just had a baby. It was very, very different. But yeah, I think the older I get, it's just the time spent away from my family is tough. My most memorable performance, personally for me, I wouldn't say my performance, but I would say my experience. I can never judge myself. I always feel like I'm terrible. I can't watch myself. I think every actor will say that. So I think I would have to say my most memorable experience, besides The Sweet Life, because I grew up on that show and that was shaped me to be the person I am. But I think the real defining one for me was when I worked on The Social Network, because I was just coming off the Disney show and I got thrown into this world with a director who I admire. Fight Club is one of my favorite movies. So being able to just be on set with David Fincher was so life-altering, but then to be surrounded by such a young group of incredibly talented actors was so inspiring and really just lit a fire under me and really reminded me why I love what I did so much. So I think from a creative standpoint, that was probably the most defining experience I've ever had on a set. How do I get ready for a new role? I always try to find, first of all, I try to find something personal that I can bring into it to make it feel grounded always. I'm a big reader, so I always try to find characters that I have read, or I journal a lot when I find a new character. When I first booked London Tipton, I remember at the time, Paris Hilton and Megan Mullally had come out with their biographies, or they wrote books, and I kind of based her character, like London, off of Megan Mullally on Will and Grace, and of course Paris Hilton, because hello. And so I remember reading those books and trying to get into the mindset of like, and I watched a lot of Will and Grace because I love Megan Mullally, and just finding like inspiration in that, and then taking that, and I remember I had this like pink, like fluffy journal that like I wrote like London on. We'd go through the scenes and I read it, and I would like, okay, where would she be in this place in her life? Because I love to read and write, so I would just kind of like write in my character just to kind of get myself in that mindset and figure out a little bit of a backstory, whether it's way off or not, just to give myself context. Again, being older, being a mom, I don't have the time to delve in as deeply as before, but I usually always try to create a backstory, and usually comes in a form of writing. If I could live anywhere, I would probably live in France. I just love it so much. I was very, very fortunate and got to spend a lot of time in Europe. I think also, you know what I realized? I realized that growing up, my favorite Disney movie was Beauty and the Beast. And I didn't realize that like I really, even as an adult, try to emulate Belle. Like I wanted to learn French. I want to live in France. I love reading. I've dated some beasts before. But I didn't realize like how much I just love, it's wonderful there. I love the food. I love the people. It's so beautiful. Honest to goodness truth, it's a collection of Sesame Street songs for my son. It is not very fun, but you realize that once you become a mom, it just becomes all about your kid. But I will say the album that I had on repeat before that was Adele, obviously. It's incredible. She just knows. She just knows what you're feeling. She just knows what you're going through. The best moment of my career so far, you know, that's really hard because I feel like every single job brings its own experience, and it's really hard to say what's best and what's not because it's all right for you at that time. I feel like it's a cop-out answer, but I feel like there's no like best because, you know, I could always say like Sweet Life, it changed my life, but also like working on Dollface right now has been so incredible because it's the first time that I'm around women my age dealing with issues that I'm currently kind of dealing with. Being able to tell these stories that I feel that are really important for, you know, women our age to sort of just talk about, obviously in a very, very fun, like outlandish sense, but to be able to do something like that I think is really important. So yeah, I think it's really hard to say like one specific thing. My favorite red carpet moment, oh my goodness. You know, honestly, my very first one, which was the premiere of Like Mike. I was supposed to go to prom. I couldn't because it was the premiere, and I feel like in that moment I was like, I'm on a red carpet. It was like shocking for me. It was so much fun. There was like a basketball court in the middle of the red carpet. It was so incredible. So I think that was so much fun. It was my first. We're so behind on everything. Such a nerd. There are two shows that we just finished. One, it's all about food. School of Chocolate, which is all about food, and The Great Pottery Throwdown. Kat Dennings got me into that show, and it's basically the Great British Bake Off, but with pottery. It's incredible. If I could get, you know, tell the 17 readers anything, it's just like truly, if there's something that you love and you're passionate about, don't let anyone tell you no. I was a little girl from Sacramento who like wanted to be on TV, and I get to do that every single day. If you work really hard and you're really passionate about something, I feel like the sky is the limit. It doesn't matter if you want to, you know, go to the moon, or you want to be a school teacher, or, you know, you want to be an actor. I really feel like if you're passionate and you work really hard, anything is possible. And my mom gave me the best advice in the world. And she said, if you find out what you love and you do what you love, you never have to work a day in your life. And I truly feel like that has been like my like motto, because I feel like you know, it's work, but it's not really, because I love what I do so much. Just keep going. Just keep going.